Welcome back. Let us put on the full armor, shall we? I will not waste no time. I know y'all coming in. So I'm just going to get started, okay? So it'll be nice and ready when you get here. How about that? I'm at Ephesians 6 and 13. Wherefore take unto you the whole armor of God, that ye may be able to withstand in the evil day. And having done all to stand, stand therefore having your loins girt about with truth, and having on the breastplate of righteousness, and your feet shod with the preparation of the gospel of peace. Above all, taking the shield of faith, wherewith ye shall be able to quench all the fiery darts of the wicked, and take the helmet of salvation and the sword of the Spirit, which is the word of God. Amen. Let's turn some lights on up in here. Looks like I'm a little dark in this corner. If I can get past it. There we go. I'm thinking I might want to get my other light and bring in here too. Give me a second, guys. Oh, you're going to be doing that, huh? Hey, y'all. Happy Friday. Well, first things first, guys. I want to start off by clearing up something real quick because there's a big mistake I made. Um, and several of you heard it. Um, but it was because on Wednesday when I was here, I told you guys about the hairspray that I use to color my hair. And it's not actually Halloween spray because I wouldn't use anything from Halloween, anything that's prayed over by Wiccas or witches or anything like that. But it's the same type of spray. This is it. This is not Halloween spray. They have on there, they have witches and stuff on their spray, but this is what I use. And so they have a red, burgundy, black, and different colors, and it's called Punky Color. And so I wouldn't use nothing from Halloween. It's just so happened to be advertised close to the Halloween one. But even if that's all they had, I just wouldn't use it. So that out the way. Um, Now, today, I'm going to be talking about those scavengers who try to take your destiny, which is your journey towards you hitting your mark in the royal priesthood, which you are, and those who tried to steal your light from you. And if you're still here, they have not succeeded because of God's grace and mercy. And though people say they cannot succeed, um, even the word says that my people perish for lack of knowledge, in so many words. So there comes a time where, uh, as a baby, in following your higher power, of course, you just only want to um, welcome in in my case, uh, I simply invited Christ in and the Holy Spirit in, and you know, asked that God would take me, would save my life from His grace through the Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. But He drew me to Him first, and then first I wanted to start just being more Christ-like. Then I got into prayer. But the closer you get to Him, the more you want to be like Him. And the more you want to be like Him, of course, the more you read about Him, the more you um, get used to His voice. Because, of course, the enemy tries to fool you in the beginning. And also your enemies, the people who have been in your ear prior to, who was trying to deceive you, their voices may still ring out as to you gaslighting your own self with things they would say to you that would discourage your heart, that would keep you in a low frequency, and this and that. I'm going to be coming from Kings, First Kings. When King David passed away, it was his desire and a well-known fact that Solomon would take the throne. He would take his place in the kingdom. But uh, King David had another son through another wife, and um, he felt that if he had certain people on his side, then he could actually slip up in there. And so he called himself, now here I'm at First Kings, um, 2 and 2 and 10. So David slept with his fathers and was buried in the city of David. And the days that David reigned over Israel were 40 years, 7 years reigned he in Hebron, and 33 years reigned he in Jerusalem. Okay, so since you're going to be doing that, let me get this right. I'm going to have to get you right because you want that nonsense. Then sat Solomon upon the throne of David his father, and his kingdom was established greatly, greatly. Nathan, a great confidant of King David, was even told that Solomon would be building the house to God that David wanted to build. And the people that David had come in close camaraderie with, they was very aware of his visions, and they was ready to give their full cooperation to Solomon. So he was established not just like, okay, here, let's put the crown on him, but he was established greatly. And Adonijah, the son of Haggith, came to Bathsheba, too many birds, came to Bathsheba, the mother of Solomon, David's great love that he risked everything for, the that he risked everything for, that God had mercy on him after they lost their first child. Then they had Solomon. So he goes to Bathsheba, the mother of Solomon, and she said, "Comest thou peaceably?" And he said, "Peaceably." He said, "Moreover, I have somewhat to say unto thee." And she said, "Say on." And he said, "Thou knowest that the kingdom was mine. This is your, this is your ops. This is the people who have came into your light and thought of it to be their own light and thought they was gonna have you on a slumber somewhere, um, depressed, for words they spoke over your life, for words that when they spoke over your life, they came in agreement with people that made it then witchcraft, because words can be spells when they come in agreement, just like prayers, two or more go up. The same with word curses. And these people, this is them going to God, so to speak, because this is the same type of um gall it take. This is the same type of ignorance it take, that someone who is so close to David for so many years, even before he came to be this son, that he could go to her and tell her what the king wanted for him, his future, in opposed to her own son. Okay. He said, "Moreover, I have somewhat to say unto thee." And she said, "Say on." "Set their faces on me, that I should reign. Howbeit the kingdom is turned about and is become my brother's, for it was his from the Lord. And now I ask one petition of thee, deny me not." And she said unto him, "Say on." And he said, "Speak, I pray, unto Solomon the king, for he will not say no to you." God, she with you now. I know, I see that she has, decided she's gonna leave us behind. I see that she's really serious about you now. But God, can you just tell her this? And he said, "Speak, I pray unto thee, pray thee unto Solomon the king, for he will not say thee nay, that he give me a bishop and Shemanite to wife." And Bathsheba said, "Well, I will speak for thee unto the king." Bathsheba therefore went unto King Solomon to speak unto him for Adonijah. And the king rose up to meet her and bowed himself, because he knew what position she stood. He had great respect for his mother, as he should have had, because his mother was not going to come, even though she didn't tell Abinijah story, she was not going to come against him for nobody. And especially knowing King David's uh, wishes, and sat down with himself unto her, and sat down on his throne, and caused a seat to be set for the king's mother, and she sat on his right hand. in which Jesus is on the right hand of the Father. Okay. Then she said, I desire one small petition of thee. I pray thee, say me not nay. And the king said unto her, ask on, my mother, for I will not say thee nay. And she said, let Abishag the Shunammite be given Adonijah thy brother to wife. And King Solomon answered and said unto his mother, and why dost thou ask Abishag to Shimei for Adonijah? Ask for him the kingdom also, for he is mine elder brother, even for him, and for Abiathar the priest, and for Job the son of Zerah. Then the king Solomon swore by the Lord, saying, God do so to me, and more also, if Adonijah have not spoken this word against his own life. Now therefore, as the Lord liveth, which hath established me and set me on the throne of David, my father, and who hath made me an house, as he has promised, Adonijah shall be put to death this day for the big disrespect. That was very disrespectful for him to come to him and ask for her. Now, therefore, as the Lord liveth, which hath established me and set me on the throne of David my father, who hath made me an house, as he promised, Adonijah shall be put to death this day. And King Solomon sent by the hand of Benaiah, the son of Jehoiada, and he fell upon him that he died. Now I'm at 1 Kings 3:1. And Solomon made affinity with Pharaoh, king of Egypt, and took Pharaoh's daughter and brought her into the city of David until he had made an end of the building his own house, and the house of the Lord, and the wall of Jerusalem round about. Only the people sacrificed in high places, because there was no house built unto the name of the Lord until those days. And this is where, when God asked him about what he would want from him, mind you, um, this is all by memory that I'm going back into the King's book. He disrespected the King Solomon, by wanting to marry Adonijah. But if he had wanted to marry her, it was so disrespectful that it would have had been like asking for his own throne. That's what it was. I remembered it wrong. Um, I was taking it by memory because I hadn't opened this book, but as Lord was bringing this to my recollection today, I had thought I remembered everything verbatim, but I hadn't read this part of the book since 2024. And I just thought I remembered it because I read over it so many times. But never mind. The whole point is the same fact that lays the same. Is that the enemy goes to pray against you to his God, to your God, to any any part of, as they might say, the cosmos, the universe, anything that would listen, not really feeling that it would be anything done to them, not feeling that, knowing that you're not the type of person who would go and seek any vengeance towards them, knowing that you are the type of person who probably wouldn't even be none the wiser, who would probably feel like, oh no, they wouldn't go against me like that. They wouldn't do nothing like that against me. And they probably still see the part of you that they felt was not respectful to them, but was naive. And people feel that when you're humble and you're respectful to them and you're, you know, you're sort of silly, you laugh, you joke, or whatever, they feel like because you don't say anything, that things go over your head. Because you keep coming around, that things go over your head. That because you don't put up a fuss about being in a depression, or uh, you still tell them all your secrets. You still tell them what they feel is all your secrets. They ask you a question, you still tell them the truth. You don't ask them why you asking the question. You don't show any suspicion towards these people to say, I'm on to you, or to say something's feeling a little off here. I don't want it to be mistaken that because I didn't remember if it was whether it was the kingdom or that he was asking for the wife, for as a wife, that I'm not speaking on the same thing. The Lord was bringing to my attention about Solomon. I only went to the book of Solomon because I felt that I remembered it. The whole point of this was the fact of the blatant disrespect, the blatant not understanding that if from your enemy, that if they can go to an authority spiritually for your demise, that that same authority would see them spiritually for theirs. Because the biggest point of all this is the fact that you were illegally touched in the spirit world. I don't care how much they made up stories about you. I don't care how much they made believers out of the people they sent to make out believers. The spirit world knew that you were innocent, and they knew it. I don't care how much they tried to convince themselves. But something I've said several times, people will hurt themselves trying to hurt you. And that's exactly what they did. Because though God may have been hiding you from yourself, though you may have been in the middle of your spiritual awakening during all this, though you might have just had a little bit of indication that things was real off, but you don't know what it was, so you didn't want to halfway, you've gotten used to things being turned around on you when you brought things up. So you didn't want to put yourself in any confusion. So all the things that you were seeing and all the uh looking in the, you'll be looking in the mirror and a person will be hugging you and you'll see that they're cringing, Or you'll take pictures, you'll be taking pictures and you'll look and you'll get live shots and you'll see the cross eyes across the rooms. But you never bring those things up. You just only let them build up in your mind till when a conclusion comes, you can add these pieces together. It's not that you wasn't seeing anything. It was just that you couldn't bring any um conclusion to it. And even if you had drawn a conclusion to it, you wouldn't present it to them because they had become so professional at changing your mind about so much. And you have even caught on to that. They didn't see that it would be sometimes they would ask questions of you that any logical person with any good sense would say, why would you ask me something like that? But you didn't ask that. They didn't question that. They just felt that you was just stupid. They had got so reckless in their putting on. They had got so reckless in their um, seeing you as someone who was just detached from your own self. They felt that they had such an advantage throughout the witchcraft, the word curses, the speaking to other people about you, that they had convinced themselves that all these spells have worked since your childhood. Spells on top of spells on top of spells on top of uh, word curses on top of putting people against you, on top of even if you did say anything about anything, nobody would believe you because for years they have been putting stuff with stuff that people can look at and be like, oh, that's why she's doing that. Okay. Oh, I see. Okay. Oh, that's why she seems so confused. Okay. See, I could tell, yeah, she do have a mental. Okay, now I can see what she was talking about. So, but they didn't take into consideration that you was innocent. You was innocent. And in fact, they were the ones that were guilty. On top of all the stuff that they did that they feel like you have no knowledge of, that even if you just say you dreamed it, and let's say everyone felt like your dreams didn't stand for anything. Why? Because you're crazy. So oh, she's having dreams now. She's a prophet now. The only reason why they've been able to be believed is because you never told a lot of the stuff they did. And a lot of the spells they put on you was to keep you in a fall, to keep you loyal to them, to keep you uh, wanting to be around them, wanting their approval, to keep you feeling like you really needed their validation because nobody else is for you. You would talk to people and they would be short with you because of things they've told this person. I mean, this person has told them, but you would be none the wiser because you're looking at this person like they're your best friend. You're looking at this person like they are close to God. You're looking at this person like a spiritual advisor. You're looking at this person as a father figure. You're looking at this person as your husband or your wife and the person that would give their life for yours if it came down to it. They would go in a burning house for you to get you out, risking their own life. Building you up to feel that y'all are so close while tearing you down around others and others feeling like, well, they are close to them. If anybody would know, they would know. But doing it in such a way that it looked like they're not going behind your back. Doing it in a covertly narcissistic way. Doing it in a way where things can link up. They know you're going to post online. They know you're going to post certain things because you have told them different things. And then when it posts, by the time it posts, you know They know exactly in the family who to have told that talks to everybody, or it would trickle down. So then when you do, then nobody gives a response. You feel like it's directed towards you when it's really directed towards the character that the person has made up of you. Even if it were true, it would really, they didn't think how much it would really say about them. But it just outright was stories. Or if it did have any truth to it, it would be something that they pulled out of you by them saying something first, or saying something you've said in the past, and then constantly bringing that one thing up, and you never going against it because you just being like, once upon a time when I was in the streets and I used to dance, right? And I once upon a time I was like, because all I got going for me is my looks. I'm only like what 21, 22. And somebody kept bringing that up to me all throughout my life. Well, you said it yourself. All you got going for, but I got so much more going for me. In fact, my looks has faded, and God has brought the things out of me that I didn't even know I had. But I let them have that because they always be. You said, well, you said it yourself, because they would say it in such a way that it's just like that's what they believe. So I wouldn't fight it. I wouldn't make a whole conversation of it so they could prove that to me. So I would just be like, I just wouldn't say nothing. I just be like, or if something goes wrong with your child or something, be like, well, you the one who had them around this person and that person. I tried to step in and help. I tried to do this. I tried to do that. You just let them have it. And then when they talk to somebody, then they'll say the same thing. Well, I tried to step in because, I saw who they had them around. And it ain't no wonder that they real violent because, they was real violent. So, you know, they act like they think they just talking to the other person, but they already done told you that they know the other person be having three ways because they had them on three way. So therefore, saying it to knowing that they're saying it to more than one person and saying it to someone that people feel is their confidant. So therefore, they don't look bad. They don't look like they're gossiping. They just simply look like they're talking to their confidant. But they know. And no matter what they do, if you're innocent and you go from following, you don't just say, you know what, I'm going to start going to church. I'm going to do what they tell me to do. And God says to you, no, don't do what they say do. Okay, they telling you you have to have a minister. You have to pay. Okay, if something happens to you, well, who's going to bury you? You got to have a minister over you. God telling you, screaming to you. No, you don't. You have a direct connection to me. But they going to get mad if I tell them that I have to. So are you more concerned about them or me? Or what are you trying to do here? Are they your God or am I your God? Are you willing to risk everything for me? Yes, I am. Yes, I did. And because of that decision, because I gave my life was saved. Not because I said something and said, Lord, will you save me? But then I put action behind my words. Then I did everything that he told me to do to the T because I had so many people against me. And it didn't just start when I was little, I told you guys that the guy who had sexually abused, assaulted me, raped me, um, that the person was allowed to come move back in with us. So that's when I ran away. What I didn't tell you guys was that he asked me to pee in a cup. And the Lord told me in a dream that that was a spell that someone asked him to get that from me. He told me he drank eggs. He liked drinking eggs. He told me and my cousin's the witness. And he laid us side by side naked and assaulted us. And I had a witness. And from spell after spell after spell, things that I even buried in my mind, I didn't remember until my spiritual awakening. Even after then, I still never brought anything up. I still never told anybody that my mother tried to hit me with a car. I never told anybody. I said it back to her when I knew somebody was on the phone listening. I said everything back to her when I knew somebody was on the phone listening. When she was calling me back to hear me cry, we had just got out the car and I was crying in the car, so she couldn't see me crying. So she called me back. She was like, okay, so what was you saying? So she could hear me. Like, I'm over it. I'm just over it. I'm just over it. Well, what was you over? Tell me how you was feeling. It just brings so much back up to my mind. It just bring this, it just bring that, it just bring that. People think I'm so extreme when I'm crying from a simple whooping from a belt, but I'm getting whooped with a vacuum cleaner cord. She's so dramatic. You should hear how she yell when she getting a whooping. Everybody can hear up all down the street. And then couldn't go to school till my wounds healed up. Some didn't never heal up. These are wounds. These are wounds from vacuum cleaners. So if I was half crazy, it would be to be expected. But I'm not. God kept me. God kept me. And the whole point of everything is it didn't make me bitter. It made me better. It made me want to be a good mother. Not because I'm connected to someone who I feel like would be a good father, which is what I did. That's what I did. That's what I chose when I got married. Not just for me, but so my oldest son could be welcomed into a family unit. And so I could have children with somebody who was responsible enough to not want to sleep with me till they got married. And the same with my son here. I didn't even know I could get pregnant, but I wouldn't have slept with somebody unprotected that I didn't trust, completely trust. I had been seeing for 2 years before he ghosted me after I had got pregnant. But all that to say, just because you laugh and you joke and your coping mechanisms might be laughter and comedy, and people feel like you're naive and you're silly, ha ha he he. It's not that. It's just that you choose to be better and not bitter. You choose to have at the forefront of your mind the things that make you smile in life. You choose to keep your frequency up. You choose not to let the fact that your mother brought you gowns with witches on them, and then you would have dreams about the witches all the time. And Gargamel and stuff have, you'd be watching the Smurfs and stuff, and Gargamel be, he'd be stirring, and the witches would be on your gown, and the same witches would be in your dream. She bought that for me for Christmas. I had posted on my page a few years back, which I didn't remember because it was before my spiritual awakening. So I had posted where TD Jake's daughter, Sarah Jakes, she was talking about how she was feeling about coming back to the church that she had left, coming back as someone who had got pregnant at 13 years old. Nobody knew that about me except my guy I had got pregnant by. It's something I kept a secret because I got an abortion. My uncle, who passed away, he got an abortion for me, which I'm so grateful for, which I don't believe in abortions now, but I was only 13. I had just turned 13, as a matter of fact. I was in no position to have no child because I was helping to raise my baby brother, and he was a newborn. I was giving whoopings for going outside when he was a newborn. I was in no position to have no child. And so Sarah Jakes, she was talking about how she came back to talk about her pregnancy. I mean, she was coming back to give birth to her ministry. And at that time, I was a Sunday school teacher to the youth, which is just, I wasn't a minister. I was just only, I hadn't had my spiritual awakening, but I was saved. I wasn't drinking or anything. And it was just to the small children, just the pillars of our doctrine, which was believe in the Father, Son, and Holy Spirit, and just talking about Jesus. And so she never recognized that ministry. And so she recognized the ministry that day that I posted that. She acted like she didn't see none of my other posts, anything else I posted. But so I was like, glory, because she was talking about how her ministry, she was like, you was out in those streets when you had got that abortion, when you got pregnant at 13. Now you're healed and now you can teach the gospel. She said that in front of all my private friends. Only have now I just cleared my page for real this time, without any obligation of people just because I know them, but feeling like I could kick my shoes off and be at home. So I think like 150 people on my Facebook page. But at that time I had like almost 300. And so at that time, you couldn't see everybody's post, but at that time, I was on spiritual warfare real bad, where people wasn't liking my posts and different stuff like that. That's before I made a new page. So everybody saw where she had put that I had an abortion at 13. And it didn't have nothing to do with me. And after that, it was just like, people start saying stuff like, somebody had said something to me about, this is why I stopped making Jet's Place, about the different characters. Had said something to me about if I identified with the different characters, like if that was different personalities of mine. I was just making up characters. And so when I had told her, she like started laughing. I'm like, no, I'm serious. They think I'm crazy. And she was like laughing. I'm like, do you think I look crazy? She just started laughing. I'm like, I look crazy, don't I? He's like, I didn't say it. You said it. So that's why I stopped. Every time I start something, like, you spend too much time on TikTok. Every time I call you, you don't have enough time to talk to me. So I stay on the phone with her for like 2 hours. so that I could spend time with her so it don't seem like I'm too caught up in characters. The whole thing is, I've never been able to say anything against her. Nothing. And if I did say anything, it'd be in a way of covering her, this person from my past, this person. But something has just happened in the spirit world. Something happened where everything I told y'all I gave my will over to God, my free will. Um, Whereas I gave my life to him as far as I wanted to be saved, I wanted to be Christ-like. But now I don't ask for anything no more. Now I simply gave my will over to him, what he desires for my life. I only praise him now. And when I pray, I just only pray, in praise and thanking him for that day, thanking him for my son being happy, thanking him for our home being um him having a stable environment to grow up in. This is my a dream come true for me. Not like I have anything to prove to anybody or even to myself, but because he deserves it. And if I have the capacity to give, that's what I'm giving. If I have all my right facilities and I'm not attaching myself to someone to sort of uh, be the head of the household, so that I can have somebody sort of regulating me too, as the wife, like the submissive wife of, okay, let me come home. I have the dinner ready. I have the kids. I do this. I do that for the kids, and the old time stuff. And I'm just the submissive wife and the whatever he says goes wife. And from that now to just being the strength of my head of household myself, taking care of everything and knowing that I am equipped, and knowing that if anybody, I'm not stepping into somebody's life as far as what their mentality is, but if I did connect with anybody, they would have to be equally yoked with me, and we would have to walk it out together. I could never be somebody couldn't just be over me. Well, of course, the Lord does say to some degree that that is the natural order, but not to the point where they going against things that I believe. I'm changing my religion. I'm changing what I believe and all this, but equally yoked in the way of the natural order, but not in the way of, okay, he against my son, or that couldn't even, I wouldn't even entertain nothing like that, because I choose my son. So I might never be married. I choose God, and in that I choose my son. Anyway, moving on. Not to sit here and just bash. um the whole point of everything is to sit and say how serious I take my life is an understatement. You wouldn't begin to know the things I've been through in my life. You wouldn't begin to even understand the things I've been through in my life. And when I turned my life over to God, even when I decided to do what He said in the first place, I had my mother as my pastor all these years, knowing all the stuff I know. Some things were suppressed. I was in a mental fog for a long time. For a long time. I wanted things to be a certain way. I wanted my mother to be my best friend. You can want stuff so bad that you can see it how you want it. And if the person is helping you see it, but that time is over. I'm only for people who are for me. And it's too crucial for you to be around people who you know, who you have truly seen for who they are. And you make a decision. Well, I know they won't go this far. I know they won't do that. I know they won't do that simply because of how much they believe in God. But even your own self, you will disappoint your own self. You will say, you know what, tomorrow I'm going to do this. And tomorrow you might not feel like it. You'll disappoint your own self. I had some dreams, and now I've been having prophetic dreams and visions. And my time of my spiritual warfare with my dreams are over. Because my dreams, if somebody try to attack me in my dreams, they will be met. They will be met. This is from my mouth to your ears, and I know you hear me, with calamity. They will be met with calamity. That's what the Lord told me. If somebody try to attack me in my dreams, from here on out, he said I could say this, they will be met with calamity. And you already know that. Playtime is over. I've been seeing people for who they are. It's just some things I just couldn't connect the dots or didn't want to see. After my birthday, after my birthday, I decided that a lot of people didn't wish me happy birthday, which I was like, okay, I don't really be on Facebook like that because they don't show you interactions. So I'll post through Instagram. If I post a video, I post it through Instagram because people don't be like, they don't like watch your stuff and then be like it or say something. It'd be like, now mind you, only had, well, at first I only had like 189 people. Now I have like 156 or something like that. And, but no, out of all those people, it'd be like, some people might have watched it twice or something. And then it'd be like 150 people watch and 2 people like. So I just be wanting to see the interaction it had because if you leave it up to people, it'll be like, I don't see you. I don't see you. I don't see, I don't want to see you. I don't care what you're doing. And it's all good when you say, dang, she really care about somebody looking at her. It's all good when you got when you on live and you got 30, 40 people, you know what I'm saying? I have people come in here now and stuff, but it's all good when you're not going through what I'm going through, what I've been through. For you to be like, dang, if you're an actual creator, if you're an actual somebody who's doing it for the
not just to do it. You're doing it for the recognition of somebody seeing your talent. You're doing it to put it out there. Why put it out there if it's not going to be seen, or if don't nobody care, or at least your friends, So I look at it through Instagram because they'll show you how many views or whatever, as opposed to saying like, it's been up for 2 weeks and 2 likes, but then it'll show you how many views. They'll be like, okay, well, a lot of people just didn't care to press like, or didn't want, to interact. That's fine. But so I haven't been going on Facebook, but it was a time where I was really acknowledging everybody. And some people I didn't stop acknowledge. I only stopped acknowledging them because they went out their way to stop acknowledging me. But um, even some people who don't acknowledge me, I still kept them because of our relationship in the past. And I just don't feel like it's came to a breaking point um, that is so bad that I would just outright do them like that. Because it would say a lot if I unfriended certain people. It would say a whole lot. People act like it wouldn't, but it would. It would say a whole lot. So not because of them, but because of me. It's not that crucial to me for me to unfriend them, to hurt anybody's feelings. But there's some people that it wouldn't hurt their feelings. They don't care one way or another. They probably don't even see my page ever. People I just stay connected to just because we've known each other for years. And it's just like, that's my safe place. That's where I go to vent. That's where I can go to let my hair down, say things I wouldn't say publicly. So why should people be able to attach to my energy, my private thoughts like that, that I wouldn't say publicly? And we don't even interact. They don't even. So I cleared my page up here recently. The Lord let me know to um, be very careful. And you should be very careful in this time who you allow in your energy. Even when you're where you post your private pictures at, stuff you wouldn't post publicly or whatever, things you would say privately about your children or whatever, make sure you know who's viewing that stuff. Because sometimes one thing means another thing. Like it was a time I take it all in my room and stuff like that. I'm not doing that no more, because that's my private space. That's where I pray. That's my private space, and it's not for everybody. I feel more respect for myself than that to have y'all in my private quarters anymore. Only because that's my praying space, and I've straightened it up a different way. I've rearranged it, and it's just my space, my peace, where I just don't, and it's also part of my dreaming space and stuff, where certain energy and spirits is out. Shut my door on that. That's my private space. I want to talk to when I talk to my son, I come out of my bedroom because he's over 16 and he's gonna look like a man. He's like really like, I don't have him in my bedroom anymore. If you want to talk to me or whatever, I'll be right out. Come in here and talk or whatever. That's my quarters, my queendom. And I deserve that space. I got my new linen and stuff, all my linen and pictures and stuff and whatever I'm doing in there, taking those feathers down and stuff and just taking all that old energy out. I had this beautiful jewelry box that my mother gave me, and we worked at the flea market together, right? And she took all these best friends. You know how you have the best friend necklaces? So you could hang something on one side. So she took the other half to all these best friends necklaces. I was calling her my bestie at that time. She took all the other halves and just had those. So when I was going to clean it, that's what I saw. It's like, you ain't got no friends. Like, dang. I'm like, why did you do that? It must have came like that. Like, I know you cleaned it up before you gave. No, it must have came like that. I'm not just saying this stuff because, oh, now I feel liberated to say it. Oh, now I haven't been talking to her. Oh, now, you know, the Lord told me this morning that nobody can take your crown. This was the story he led me to, Solomon's story. I thought I remembered the whole story, but it still don't take away the fact. Nobody can take your crown unless you don't fall in line with your path, with your path. It comes a time where you can't be straddling the fence. You can't be saying, okay, well, I want to please you and them. I want to please you and them, God. How is it that I can't please you? And it says in the Bible, respect your mother and your father. How is it not pleasing you? That must be the devil talking to me. And I've always respected, always, even now, when I speak to them, I respect them to a fault. No, not to a fault. I respect them because I'm supposed to respect them. It's not disrespecting anybody telling the truth when they've been telling lies on me. I'm only telling the truth. And I haven't said half of the things that I have suppressed or something to come up in my mind. And I don't want to think of nothing like that. I don't want to see them like that. This is my pastor I'm calling every Sunday to have Bible study with. This is the person that I'm helping to serve the food, stand up all night to help my ex make the food. Nobody show, and I'm still doing everything in the kitchen, painting the church, doing everything, going being a secretary. I never charged anything. I never wanted anything. I just only wanted to serve God and be a good daughter, being an armor bearer, carrying the Bible and stuff. Knowing my son was going to cry because the drums. It seemed like they beat the drums harder. Then I have to, after I do everything, I have to walk up and down the street so I don't have to sit in a hot car with him and don't have to hear the drums that you can hear all the way up and down the street. We're not meant to suffer under anybody. That's not God. That's not God like. It's supposed to be a pleasure following him. It's supposed to be the joy of your life like it is now. It is the joy of my life to serve him. He makes me feel he makes me feel like I'm supposed to feel about myself and shows me how to love myself. It's terrible when you find out how to love your children by how you want it to feel. That's terrible. But I was watching this lady and she was saying how um, this was a while ago after I had my spiritual awakening. She was like, how she don't have contact with her mother. Oh my God. I was like, that's terrible. I was listening to her. And on a post I had made, this guy had said something about his mother-in-law wanted to move in with them. I was going to get a 3-bedroom, so if anything happened with my mom, she could come stay with me. But also, this guy on my Facebook page said that his mother-in-law, he was like, his wife will move out before she moved in. What did I say on his post? So all my friends could see. If my mother wasn't welcome in my house, then I wouldn't be welcome in my house. That's how I felt. Everybody knew how I felt. And everybody knew how she felt. You talk about the humiliation ritual and how many times I've been through that mud. When you see me come online and you think I'm just this silly, naive woman, all the stuff that I've been through, I would have to tell you for you to believe or even think that I've been through things I've been through. Why? Because God kept me. My God kept me. And I'm not half crazy. Only reason why I didn't remember this story is because I haven't opened this story since 2024. And I felt so confident in remembering it this morning that I didn't feel like I had to. I just was like, Siri, where does it say in the Bible about uh, King David passing away, leaving the kingdom to King Solomon? And I just went to there because I really look. Siri don't came on because I really thought I remembered it. That's the only reason why I didn't remember it. I just I take uh, uh I have to go into the doctor every month, right? And I have to take blood work and I have to take urine samples, blood work every few months and urine samples to make sure that I'm taking my medication and to make sure that, because if I sell my medication, I get some good money, and to make sure I'm not on nothing else. And I've been doing that now for almost 8 years, and I don't even drink. So I'm in my complete right mind. They've given me uh, what's that called? Psychological evaluation and everything. So God has kept me. So with that said, I know, and it won't be that now I'll be off serious. This is just the what the Lord had me bring forth today. Why? I don't know, but He knows, and He'll let me know. It'll be found out. Just like I didn't know why I had to put up my email address. I was trying to figure it out and trying to make my own. It must be because it's time for me to start having one-on-ones. I'm like, no, I'm not equipped for one-on-ones. Guys reaching out, thinking I'm talking about for free. I'm like, no. And then guys reach like, okay, well, how much? I'm like, okay, well, try to make a price. I'm like, but then the spirit inside of me, Holy Spirit, like grabbing my guts, like, you can't have no one. You ain't equipped to have. You don't know what kind of demons they got. Okay, like you can't do that. You can't just do that. Let alone talking to a guy. Okay, I don't talk to me like that. Ain't my, you know, ain't my suitor or ain't trying. I'm not trying. I'm not, you know, looking. I mean, it's not intentions there. I don't talk to men like that. Period. I don't talk to men. Period. This guy's like, "Excuse me, ma'am, can I bother you for a minute?" I'm like, "No." He's like, "Okay." He's driving. Like, keep driving. Nope, you can't bother me for not a minute. I took down. I had a Facebook dating up because I thought that's how you had to go through there to see your amount of views or whatever. Actually, I had put it up at one time because I was considering having, you know, meeting somebody online. I was considering because my son said he met his friend online or whatever. But I'm not equipped to handle stuff like that, so I just took it down. I did meet somebody one time on there, and he was a nice guy and everything. But I already know that I'm not ready to date anybody because of my path, because of my purpose. It won't allow me. And so, anyway, um, you have to be very careful in this time. This will come out to me, this will God will let me know this. He already let me know why he told me to take the mirrors out of my room, but he told me to keep that private because, like I said a few days ago, there's some things where it pertain to uh, different matters. That's not my job. I see people who's equipped to handle that, answer the questions, know the history and all that. That's their job. I'm supposed to do what I'm supposed to do, and I'm not steering off of that path. I'm not making fresh enemies out of the government that I don't have to make. I'm not drawing eyes to myself. I'm really holding on to my peace. I'm only saying things that pertain directly to me. I'm not going into nothing else unless the Lord tell me to, but He's already told me that's not my path. So I'm very clear about my path now. So, since last week when I told y'all about the one-on-ones, now I'm clear. No, I didn't know why he told me to put it up by email. He told me to put it up because of my birthday, so people could wish me happy birthday. When I put up my PayPal, that I just didn't put up my PayPal, but I also put that up, and they still was bringing in some money yesterday. Thank you guys so much, the ones who sent a seed, and it really, 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 really touched my heart. Thank you guys. And so anyway, I said everything that I came to say. I just want you guys to know that if you do what the Lord says do, that still small voice, if you don't know, ask Him to reveal Himself to you. Ask Him, tell Him that you don't know how to decipher His voice. You don't really know. It's not no certain way to pray. You just talk to Him. He will talk to you in your language. He ain't gonna come to you and talk to you and sing a song to you in Arabic. He's gonna talk to you in your language, what you can relate to the most. If some people relate to movies like me, he talks to me about movies a lot. He brings different things to my out of my dreams, and then he'll allow me to compare it to different movies and stuff, and he'll allow me to hear it in mine, how I can understand it. He'll break it down to the smallest decimal for you, just for you. He's not going to talk to you in Swahili about a song in Swahili. He's going to talk to you where you can understand. And nobody can tell you how you can understand. And don't try to go in nobody else's path because that's how they understand. Okay? So, happy Friday, guys. I know this was a heavy talk, but it was much needed and much valuable because it came directly from the Lord. It's something I wouldn't have been able to do even last week. But it wasn't required of me last week. It was required of me today. So take that with you. Y'all have a great weekend. I love you. And God loves you so much more. Peace.